This demonstration is on how to glaze your pinch pot monster. So you're going to notice when you get it back that it's more white in color and its texture will be a little bit rough and sort of like glass. So now it is no longer clay, it is now ceramic because of how hot it got in the kiln. For your glaze color choices, you have the primary colors and you have clear. Make sure that you notice that the clear, even though it looks like it's a little bit blue, it actually will end up firing and being the color of the clay. So this kind of whitish color that the clay is how it will stay. It'll just be shiny. So glaze looks very chalky kind of in appearance when you start applying it, but after you fire it, it becomes very shiny like this. So it's going to change in appearance quite a bit. Make sure when you return the glaze back to the box, you do it very, very carefully so that they are not going to spill. So they need to be upright with their lid on. There will be pallets available to you so that you could mix the colors of the glaze inside of the pallet. There are enough for 2 per table, and remember you can share. There's plenty of little spaces that you can use to mix the colors. Remember, just like paint, we have to rinse and blot our brush when we're putting our brush into new colors of glaze, just like the paint. I've decided I want my monster to be green, so I'm going to make some green. And to do that, I'm going to get a glob of yellow. You might need to stir it a little bit and kind of twist my brush off. Make sure that you're getting enough that's going to last you a little bit. And then rinse your brush really, really good in your water, because we do not want to mix these. Like I said, they're super expensive and we have to be extra careful with them because I cannot just throw them away because we were careless. And get a little bit of blue and kind of twist it off, and I think that's probably as much as I want, so I'm going to rinse my brush so I don't end up getting more blue on there because I want it to be more of a yellowy blue color. So it's not going to be very vibrant right now, but once it goes to the kiln, you'll notice a big difference in the appearance. So it's going to go from being this kind of like chalky kind of look to nice and bright. All right, when we put this on there, so it is not like paint because it kind of soaks in really quick. So you're going to paint sort of in one way or one direction and lift your brush up, and you're going to notice it. So this is very porous and it's just going to soak it in really, really quickly, and that's okay. So you're not going back and forth, because if you do, it just scrubs the glaze off of the surface. So what you want to do is try and get at least 2 to 3 layers of glaze on your project if possible. It'll make a big difference in the appearance. You won't see the streakiness if you add more glaze on there. Remember, do not glaze the bottom. Anywhere that it sits on the table surface, you do not want glaze to be on the area. So if you have a tail, do not paint the bottom of the tail or glaze the bottom of the tail, because it will end up sticking to the bottom of the kiln and may not come off, might break. Anywhere you have noticed that it's kind of dried like this and not shiny, go ahead and give it another layer if you have time. Really, really important. At cleanup time, be sure to check the bottom of your pinch pot monster and use a damp paper towel to wipe off any glaze that you see on there. A teeny tiny bit, like if there's a little bit of pigment on there, will be fine, or it should be fine, but you want to get off any of the large areas, otherwise it may fuse to the kiln shelf, which would not be good. Then when it's free of any glaze on the bottom, you can place it right back in the box. One last little thing. If you had any of your parts of your pinch pot monster fall off, you might be able to reattach it with glaze if you put glaze on both sides of the pieces that are touching. So like say your eye fell off, if you put glaze in the area where it fell off and the bottom of the eye and you set it on there, it should go through the kiln and get reattached. So if you have anything that fell off, we'll see if we can get it stuck back together. It might not though, but it is worth trying. Please let me know if you need assistance with this, and we'll do our best to get your little pinch pot monster back together.